Hello from Blue Ridge again. I'm living my best life as an affiliate, and I've been up here. This is going on week number 2. I just love that I can go somewhere else and continue to earn an income. Everything that we talk about in here. So I'm just grateful. And I'll show you my view today. It's beautiful. So, how to set realistic work hours. This is a good one because I think when people are getting started, or sometimes after they've been, working a while, they don't realize like this is a job. And so if they just want to make a little bit of extra money, like if you just want to make a little bit of extra money, you don't have to set work hours. You don't have to have a DMO. You really don't need to be in here. If you just want to make enough money to pay for like your products or, make your car payment or something like that. I mean, you really don't need to do all these things. But if you want to make 6 figures, which I think everybody in here does, raise your hand if you want to make 6 figures. I'm sure. If you want to make 6 figures, or if you want to turn your 6 figures into 7, then you have to set work hours. When you have a real job, you're required to be there at this time, and you don't clock out until that time. And you are consistently working toward the goal of completing those work hours. And every 6 months or 12 months, your boss is sitting you down and basically saying, you're doing a good job or you're not doing a good job, and then you get a bonus attached to that, correct? So when you decide that you want to be paid like an employee in direct sales, you have to set work hours. You have to. There is a lie that is being told in this industry, which goes like this: oh, you can do it in the pockets of your time. Yes, you can, but you're only going to make pockets full of money, basically. $20 here, $100 there. You're not going to be able to make thousands of dollars a month in pockets of time. You're just not, unless you are intentionally setting work hours for those pockets of time where you clock in and you clock out and you don't do anything else but what you said you were going to do, and it's preset. So the less time you have to work this business, the more strategic you have to be about what you're doing in those hours or those minutes or whatever. So pockets of time could be 30 minutes, but you're going to do it 6 times a day. And you're not just going to, okay, this is my 30 minutes of work. You're going to have a preset part of your DMO that you're going to get done in that period of time. On top of which, you are going to track what you're doing in that time, and you're going to measure that against how much money you made. And you can do that in a week chunk or a month chunk. Our team right now is running for a big goal. And so we are keeping track of our DMO. So if you don't have my DMO, whatever daily method of operation you use, our team for 30 days is tracking exactly what they do every single day. Just a little hashtags, like just little hash marks, every engagement, how many people they're sending friend requests to, how many lives they're doing, how many reels they're doing, how many, not so much posts. Like, we don't really need to know how many posts you're doing, but you could track that as well. But you're tracking what you're doing during these pockets of time or work hours, and then you're holding that up against your income. Your income. This is what I did. This is how much money I made. And then you can turn that around and you have a conversion rate that goes like this. I want to double my income next week. It looks like I need to double all of these activities. The non-income producing activities that I'm using to grow an influence or get in front of more people or have more customers. This is what I need to do. So like it might look like, if you're focused on team building, which is where I am in my business, I've been doing this for 6 years, full-time for 4. I've already hit 6 figures, and I'm growing, and I want my leaders to be hitting 6 figures in this next 12 months. So I am focused on team building for them. And that looks like having 3 business conversations every single day in a 30-day period. That's 90 business conversations, so that I can get more leaders onto their teams. So I'm actually recruiting for them at this point. I'm also recruiting on my front line when I need to, but depending on your comp plan, it may not be advantageous for you to be recruiting onto your front line when you need leaders building big volumes on your team in order for you to hit the next rank. And all comp plans kind of focus on customer finding, and then you can't hit your next rank, depending on how many ranks you can hit finding customers. Then, at some point, you really need to be helping your teams build in order to hit these higher ranks. So like for us, you can hit the first 4 ranks, finding, a customer finder, but you can't get to the next 3, which is the top of the company, without helping those leaders build teams. So if they're a great recruiter, great. But like for most of us, it takes time to get good at recruiting. So, and this wasn't supposed to be a recruiting video, but so for me, I am setting work hours, and I am saying in this hour, I'm going to find and have 3 business conversations, during 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever. From 9 to 10, I am doing all of my engagements so that my posts are getting more visibility and I'm getting in front of more new people. From 10 to 11, I am sending 25 friend requests so that I have new eyeballs who are going to be customers in about 6 to 8 weeks, because that's how long it's going to take for me to nurture those people to get the know, like, and trust so that they're ready to reach out to me when they see something interesting. It could be my business opportunity or it could be a product. I am setting work hours in advance and saying, this is how much time I'm going to spend on these activities so that I can grow my paycheck to be what I want it to be. I don't just accidentally make a paycheck. I specifically say, and my goal is always to double my paycheck from the previous month. That's always my goal, to double my income. And, now my income is bigger, so it takes me a little bit longer than 30 days to double my income. But there is intentional setting of hours. Like here, I'm up here with my girlfriend. We're having a girls trip, and both of us are business builders. We're both self-employed, and so we, like, during the morning we are working, and then at 4 o'clock we are opting out and having the very, very best time. Like last night, there was a lot of fun to be had at the fire pit and the hot tub. We did all the things and stayed up late and all the girls trip fun things. But I got my hours in. I clocked in and clocked out. And some days I take the whole day off. Very rare for me to do that. Very often I won't take the whole day off because a lot of my team work. And so they need, some assistance from me during hours when they're not working. So that usually means that I'm working a little bit on every day. And I decided to do that because I want multiple 6 figures. But it's the setting of the work hours. So if you didn't see the last Tuesday training, I would say go back and watch that one. But I'll recap and say, if you've never set work hours, first you need to see what hours do you have to work with. And that looks like printing out a agenda. And I like to print one out that starts at 5 o'clock in the morning and ends at midnight so that you can really see what you're doing. And every hour, go back and write down what you were doing. Write down, I brushed my teeth, I got ready, took a shower, journaled, worked my business, worked my real jobs, had to spend time with the kids, spent time with the husband. Write down everything you do for about 3 days. If your days are the same, 3 days should cut it. If your days are very different like mine, you probably need to write that down for a week and then go back and find open periods of time where you're like, I don't even know what the hell I was doing, but these 3 hours went by and I can't remember doing anything productive, but here. Or you look for things that you're doing during hours that for a period of time you can opt out of. Like for some of us who are busy and we have other jobs, that looks like not watching TV. Like I didn't watch any Netflix when I had a real job and I was doing this. I got up early from 5 to 7. I worked my business for 2 hours every day when I had a real job. I worked it from 5 to 7, and I got all my DMO done. And then I went and got busy doing my real job. And then I followed up with customers in the evening before I went to sleep. So another hour there. I was putting in about 3 hours a day, every single day when I had a real job, so that it could pay me like a real job. And then I quit my job. And it took me about 8 months working this business 3 hours a day, every single day, including weekends, so that I could say, oh, I've doubled my paycheck and now I don't have to work at this other job. You know, some people go faster, some people go slower, but it was an intentional work. And I was willing to work 2 jobs so that I could switch careers, basically. I didn't want to work in healthcare anymore. So setting your work hours and then following through. So when you tell your boss that, you know, you want to be an employee of his, and he says, okay, work hours are going to be 9 to 5. You're going to get an hour for lunch. How often do you not fulfill those hours? Not very often do you not work the 9 to 5, or else you're not going to have that job for very long, right? Which means you're not going to have the paycheck. Same thing with this. If you don't set work hours and then stick to them, you're also not going to have a paycheck. And here is the thing that probably a lot of you don't realize. You have to work for 6 to 8 weeks doing these activities during these work hours or pockets of time before you're actually going to make money. So when you first come into the business, there's a bunch of sales to be had because you already have know, like, and trust, and these people already trust you enough to reach out and buy. And most of you are not setting work hours. You're not doing any of a daily method of operation because you're getting sales. You don't think you have to. No, I don't have to send friend requests. I don't have to do engagements. I'm getting all these sales. Well, those sales from your warm market, they stop. And that's when people start to say, oh, this just isn't working for me. No, you weren't working for you. You were just taking the low-hanging fruit, people already know, like, and trust you. You were taking those, and that was success for you, but you weren't working to have those new customers already warmed up with know, like, and trust in 6 to 8 weeks. So a lot of people go through their warm market, they sell to those people, and then if it's a consumable product, they can only sell to them again when they need a refill. And if you're in a business that's not consumable, you run out of customers and they're not even reordering. Like, if you sell Norwex cloths and they don't need those for 5 years, you're not having a sale. Those people aren't reordering anytime soon. You got to bust your ass to go find new customers every single month. Brand spanking new people, so that you can put them in a rotation where they might order, when there's a sale or, for a gift or something like that. But if you're selling something like clothing that's not going to need to be reordered, you're going to have to find more customers. You're going to have to be focused on finding more customers, and that's got to be a set period of time. During this hour, I am going to go find 5 more customers every single day, so that they can start to get to know, like, and trust me on social media. So in 6 to 8 weeks, they're going to be my new buyers. They're going to be the ones that are pulling the trigger, asking for a link and checking out. But if I don't do that today, in 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to have nobody. So I can always, when I have a leader come to me and they're like, I'm not making any money. And I'm like, let's look at the calendar. What was happening 6 to 8 weeks ago? Oh, I was on vacation. I stepped back from my business. I was sick. I was moving. That's why you don't have any sales today. But you have to be willing to get freaking full-time busy today, work for 6 to 8 more weeks to start to see those sales. Most people quit before they even see the sales because they're like, oh, this just isn't working for me. No, you aren't working for you. And the only way that you can really work for you is to do exactly what your boss is doing right now, requiring you to set work hours and then holding you accountable to those work hours. And you have to do it for yourself if you're going to be an entrepreneur. You have to say, I am worth clocking in and clocking out for this opportunity to earn multiple six figures while I'm on vacation or in my pajamas or traveling around the world. That is worth clocking in and clocking out. And then you use the the daily agendas that you've been recording all of your activities for 3 days to a week to go find or make that time. So stay up late or get up early, stop watching TV, multitask. Like I was walking 10,000 steps a day, and I walked the same path every single day so that I could do all of my engagements looking at my phone and I wouldn't trip and kill myself. But I was getting 2 things done. Stack your activities in a block of time. Like I need to do laundry and get the dishes done, so I'm going to listen to a training during that time because I need to get this training in, but I also have to do these things because, I run a household and I'm a mom and all the things, or I have to take my kid to here. I'm going to listen on the way to this training. And while I'm sitting and watching them play a game, I'm not going to chat with the other moms unless I'm trying to recruit them. I'm going to actually be chatting with people on social media, and I'm going to be sending links for them to check out for whatever I have, going on. But setting those work hours is the first and most critical part. You can't just do it in pockets of time. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to work my business around my other busy business. I mean, you can, but you have to set the time. You have to clock in and clock out for your business. You have to. And once you've done that consistently and you've seen how much money you've made, if you want to make more money, then you have to find more time to do those activities, or get busy building your team and teach them how to do it. So you can grow your paycheck 2 ways. You can build a team, get customer finders, teach them how to create pockets of time and start helping more customers. Or you can go find more customers and you can sell more customers to them. So 2 ways to make money. I do a little bit of both. I'm building a team, I'm growing a team, I'm recruiting for my team and training for them, because anybody on my team is my team. I handhold and I train, and that's why this is here, because my team comes in here and gets what they need, and then I hop on a call with them when they need to sort out what's going on up here. When I'm talking to them, it's more about what's going on up here, because here is all the activities you can do to reach 6 figures. But you have to set those work hours. And show of hands, how many of you are not doing that? I mean, you think, I'm just going to work a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, but something comes up and all of a sudden you don't work. How often does something come up and all of a sudden you don't go to your real job? Never. Because you've set that work hour and you've opted out of everything else because I'm working. And you have to do that with this too. 30 minutes, 6 times a day. I would say if you want to make 6 figures in your business, I would say 15 hours a week is what you should be putting in. And you can do that every single day. You can do that 5 days a week. You can do it, all in one chunk. You can do, on Saturday and Sunday, you can do, I'm going to do 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday or whatever. You can do it however, but that is about the amount of time that I see myself and other people around me needing to create 6 figures. Now, some people can go faster. They have a big influence. But if you don't have influence and you're here to learn the sales hacks to turn your social media into money, then that is about the amount of time that you would spend with your team, with your customers, and with your social media page so that you can get new customers. So set work hours, you guys. It is the gift that you give to yourself. My last week's paycheck, for this 1 week, and I've been here for going on the 2nd week. I've been in Blue Ridge, living my best life. My last week's paycheck was more than my entire month in my healthcare job. And so was it worth it to do all of these activities when I wasn't making very much money? Yeah, it was. And it will be worth it for you too when you show up for yourself and you clock in and clock out and you act like the employee that you actually are for somebody else. You act like your own employee. Like, be as great of an employee for yourself as you are for this other person that you're making money for. And then you'll start making money. I hope that helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And I would love to see, like, yes, I set my work hours, or no, I don't. And any questions you have, because that might be my next training. So if you haven't seen or heard, we're going to do Tuesday trainings a week instead of twice a week. I think it's easier for everybody to hop on, and let me know what you need. Bye, y'all.